Since I run a small channel, I read every single comment that I receive, and sometimes I just really want to interact with it. Whether it's someone completely misunderstanding something that to me should be obvious, or just to give the person a virtual high five. But this time we'll focus on what I first mentioned. This video will be a more serious one, rather than lighthearted like I usually try to be. I might do more of these in the future if they're appreciated, but let's start with the video of mine with the most comments. The surprisingly controversial stuff people say to lesbians. Side note, I will not be repeating I don't have anything against Christians like a broken record in this video, because I've made it insanely clear that I have nothing against Christians in general. However, I do have a very traumatic relationship with Christianity, and I have a right to talk about it. Of course, there are Christians who are accepting of gay people, or who aren't at the very least bashing gay people. But that is not what I'm responding to in this video. If I sound like I'm making fun of the person whose comments I respond to, it has nothing to do with the religion in general, but more so that this individual and their arguments sound ridiculous to me. I'm very supportive of the idea of agreeing to disagree. You don't need to agree with me, nor do I have to agree with you. However, using your religion to push people down is cruel, and I don't tolerate it. Especially since these people seem to be actively searching up stuff that they don't agree with. I don't personally care if there are people that don't believe in homosexuality or like it, but when those people leave nasty comments on my video or to me directly, I'm not obligated to stay quiet about it. Or even be nice about it. I don't need to be the bigger person. I'm just 5'1", what do you want from me? You have to understand that I have gotten a lot of hate and homophobia thrown at me because of my sexual orientation. And my frustration is not coming from thin air. This is the only disclaimer I will give in this video. If you don't understand this, go here and you'll get a second chance to understand it. I'm sad she's a lesbian, because she looks pretty cute. Thanks, this is definitely something I will put on my Stuff People Say to Lesbians 3. Besides, I'm clearly a cartoon character. In real life, I look like this, so don't worry, you're really not missing out. Your sexual preference does not define you. According to the Bible, it is the wrong preference. Also, there is no gay gene. And some of those things that happened in the Bible just happened. They were not condoned by God or servants of Him. First of all, my sexuality isn't a preference. The word preference literally means a person or thing that is preferred over others, suggesting that there is a choice involved in the equation, which you tolerate but don't like as much. It isn't. I have a sexual aversion to the male body, which is something that I was born with and nothing that I can change by simply choosing. I've noticed an echo chamber-like theme among the hateful Christian comments, that their direct reaction to me not believing in their Bible is to bring up another Bible argument. Like, dude, it didn't change my mind the first 5 times, so why would a 6th or a 7th make any difference? My Christian parent has already shoved the entire Bible down my throat and still managed to fail turning me Christian. Also, about the gay gene thing, I feel like believing God makes me a bad person now. I guess it is the best thing to do now. Dude, if you can't deal with someone having a different opinion than you on something on the internet, maybe the internet isn't for you. Bringing up as a reaction to someone having a different opinion is extremely immature and manipulative. Don't put words in other people's mouths. It's a way to silence people. Don't do it, pal. Just go to therapy. Saying that God thinks my sexuality is wrong is like saying your imaginary friend doesn't want me at their birthday party. I just couldn't care less. Harsh, but kinda true, man. I would never call the gods of a religion imaginary friends. However, this metaphor works really well to explain just how little that religion affects me and my life. I hope you go to hell and suffer from AIDS. I'm pretty sure AIDS do not serve supper, but if it does, I hope it involves kale and halloumi cheese. When I say who's the man in the relationship, I actually mean who's top and who's bottom. Listen, it's not that we don't understand the question, it's that it's an invasive question. If you have to rephrase the question, who's more dominant when you're having sex? It is a sign that it's inappropriate, probably. Would you walk up to a straight couple and ask who's more dominant in bed? No? Why? Is it because it's a weird question? Because it would make you look like a perverted creep? Jeez, I wonder why. Stop being obsessed with our sex lives. We aren't a real-life porn category. I hate you. I'm a Christian. Okay, anime profile picture. Okay, so I have a problem with the Bible part of this. First of all, that was the past of Moses, which is no longer valid. Due to Christ's sacrifice. I feel like you took that out of context. All of the Bible quotings have been said to me by actual Christians that identify as such. One of whom is planning to become a priest. folks that pray, read the Bible, and go to church. Christianity is a huge religion, and it's not free of differentiating opinions within the community. There are millions of Christians in the world, and assuming that all of them are going to think alike about every single thing is just naive, if not even plain stupid. With that being said, saying that they're not real Christians, something that people in the comment section have stated, is just ignorant. The internal fights among Christian gatekeeping is literally none of my concern. All of the Bible related stuff in this video have been said to me at some point in my life. Almost all of them multiple times. And at one time in my life, even every single day, by people who live a Christian life and who identify as Christians. Taking the Bible out of context is literally what created the scenarios in this video. The point should be obvious. Cherry-picking random quotes from your religious text to prove that I'm a bad person, while you, the actual religious person, doesn't live by the other rules from your own religious text is just stupid. It's literally the point. It's so obvious. As a Christian, I was really confused when you took 95% of the verses out of context. And you say that was intentional to prove a point, but even so, there are verses in the Bible that straight out call it a sin. Now, I'm not saying you have to convert to Christianity, that is not what I'm getting at. What I am getting at, if you want everyone to respect your life of being obsessed with lesbians, you have to see that we are obsessed with our godly life. And I'm very sorry about the people who scream and ridicule you. They need to learn that we show love and not hate. This comment was meant out of full love, and I am happy for you. Thank you. This relates to the previous comment, because when people say this, they forget that there is a global problem with religious people pushing their views on others, in way too many cases even ending fatally. Being gay, however, has no such thing. That gay people push their sexualities upon others is just a scare tactic created by homophobes. Me being obsessed with lesbians, which is by far the most true statement I've ever heard in a comment criticizing me, does not affect you. I have not heard of a single gay person forcing straights to become gay, nor have I heard of conversion therapy aimed at Christians by gay people. Comparisons like these fall flat because these two scenarios are two completely different things. My problem with people being obsessed with their godly life is if it affects me directly in a hurtful way. People end, assault, and torture people like me because of my sexual orientation that I was born with, in the name of religion. I have been ridiculed and abused in the name of the God of Christianity. No one can take that away from me, and the millions of gay people that have been through the same. I don't care if you're obsessed with your godly life. I support people living lives that give them meaning and happiness. But if it's used to push people down, your God isn't the problem, it's you. You can disagree with the Bible as much as you want, but don't call the Bible that way. In short, don't insult the Bible. Is that really insulting? Is the Bible not made out of paper? Isn't it holy to you? Is it insulting that I don't care about what it says about me or my life? You're not asking for respect, you're asking for obedience. Just as much as there are people who are completely uninterested in my life and what to me makes it worth living, it also works the opposite way. Please do not be a lesbian. Even animals don't do same-sex marriage. That's how everything should be, how God made it. Animals don't support any kind of marriage because they don't get married. Homosexuality is found in over 1,500 species. Homophobia and marriage is found in 1. Not all Christians are like that. Now I feel sad because you're making Christians to be bad people. Stuff people say about Christians. I will not defend Christians between every breath I take just because some people misinterpret what I say. I have never ever stated that all Christians are hateful towards gay people. However, I have met and I am related to hateful Christian people. So I'm definitely not making up this concept even if you wish it was so. I've been through hell because of religious people, and I have a right to share my story. One disclaimer should be enough for people to understand that none of what you're implying is accurate to what I've said, ever. Besides, if you're gonna make a video titled Stuff People Say About Christians, base it on bigger problems than when a Swedish lesbian stranger on the internet talks about the way she was abused by Christian people. Like Christian persecution, for example. Which at least I would consider a much bigger issue. You barely understand the Bible though. I have read the Bible. I've lived by it wholeheartedly. And I was raised by people who did the same. The thing with the Bible is that it's open for you to analyze and reflect upon. A lot of people interpret certain texts from the Bible to be against homosexuality. And that's not something that I'm making up. Gatekeeping the Bible is something you can do somewhere else. I support you and who you want to be, but me being a Christian, it kind of offended me when you call the Bible just a book. Bitch, you're from Sweden. Possibly the best country to come out in. I don't really know how your coming out story can be painful. I mean, in my family, just befriending a person with a specific ethnicity would result in me getting disowned. I was thrown out of my home, someone tried to drive demons out of me, and I've been subjected to years of abuse. Go be rude somewhere else and stop assuming that just because someone's from a specific country, they have it better.